Welcome back to Don Africa Production, everyone. I'm Jack Mameni, and I'm here with June Ongare. Today's episode is, well, it's a bit of a wake-up call, honestly. We're talking about Kenya at the crossroads, and June, I got to say, the parallels with Sudan they're hard to ignore.
Yeah, Jack, it's honestly chilling. I mean, if you look at what happened in Sudan, it wasn't just like one day everything exploded. It was this slow build, corruption, people being silenced, coalitions falling apart. And then suddenly you've got Al-Burhan and Hemedti, two generals, basically tearing the country apart. Over 8 million people displaced, cities bombed, hospitals gone. It's just, it's heartbreaking.
And the thing is, it didn't start with the shooting, did it? It started with, leaders putting power above people. I remember, actually, I was in Nairobi a while back, and there was this protest, peaceful at first, just people with signs chanting. But then, out of nowhere, things got tense. Police showed up, and you could feel the mood shift. It reminded me of what I've read about Sudan, how quickly things can spiral when dissent gets shut down instead of heard.
Totally. And it's not just about war. Sudan's collapse was about broken trust, right? When you silence people, when you let corruption fester, it's like you're laying the groundwork for disaster. I mean, I'm not saying Kenya is Sudan, but the warning signs are there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we forget how fragile civil order can be. One day it's business as usual. The next, you're watching your city fall apart. It's not just a history lesson. It's a warning.
So, let's talk about what's happening right now in Kenya. June 2025 has been, honestly, it's been rough. First, there was Albert Ojwang, a teacher, a blogger, someone people really respected. He died in police custody, and officially they called it suicide. But the autopsy showed he'd been tortured. That's just, I don't even have words.
Yeah, and then, not even 2 weeks later, Boniface Kariuki, a street vendor, was shot at point-blank range during a protest. Peaceful protest, mind you. It's not just isolated incidents. These are flashpoints. People are angry. And honestly, I can't blame them. The deputy IG had to resign, dozens wounded, and it's like, where does it end?
And now, everyone's looking at June 25th. There's this big Gen Z-led protest planned, Justice for our Mashujaa Day. It's supposed to be nationwide, and the government's on high alert. Anti-riot squads everywhere. Rumors about infiltration, provocateurs, all that. It's tense. And, I keep thinking about police reforms. Kenya's tried before, there were these big pushes after 2007 and again in 2017. Some things got better, like community policing, but honestly, a lot of it just didn't stick. There's still this huge trust gap.
Yeah, and it's not just about the police, is it? It's about institutions, about whether people feel like the system's actually working for them. When you see deaths like Albert's and Boniface's, it's hard to believe in the process. And when the government's first response is to double down, send in more force, it just makes people angrier. I mean, I might be wrong, but it feels like we're at a breaking point.
No, I think you're right. And the thing is, people aren't just protesting for the sake of it. They want real change, accountability, justice, actual reform. It's not just noise. It's a demand for something better.
And then there's the regional angle, which honestly is making things even messier. President Ruto's been, pretty openly aligning with Sudan's RSF. That's the same group accused of, war crimes, ethnic massacres, all sorts of horrific stuff. In February, Nairobi even hosted RSF leaders, and Sudan's government called it an act of hostility. They recalled their ambassador banned Kenyan imports. Suddenly, Kenya's reputation is on the line, not just at home, but across the region.
Yeah, and it's not just about politics, right? It's about what kind of country Kenya wants to be. There are all these advocacy groups. I've seen youth coalitions, legal aid groups, even faith-based organizations calling for police reform, for electoral integrity, for more youth participation. They're saying, look, we can't just keep doing things the same way and expect a different result. And honestly, I think they're right.
I had this conversation with a young activist last week. She was, maybe 22? She told me, we're not just here to make noise. We want accountability. We want to build something better, not burn it down. She said Sudan's story is a warning, not a prophecy. And that stuck with me. It's about making choices. Do we double down on old habits, or do we actually listen and change?
Exactly. And it's not just about protests. It's about building movements, getting involved, demanding accountability, saying the names, Albert Ojwang, Boniface Kariuki, and all the others, not letting police brutality be just another headline, and honestly, returning to values, faith, family, freedom. That's what's going to steer Kenya away from the edge. Not more division or, regional power games.
Yeah, and as we head toward June 25, I guess the big question is, are we going to face this moment with courage or just hope it blows over? Sudan shows us what happens when you wait too long. Kenya's got a choice, and well, we'll be here to keep talking about it for as long as it takes.
Couldn't have said it better, Jack. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be back with more, hopefully with some good news next time. Take care, Jack.
Thanks, June. And thanks to all of you for listening. Stay safe, stay engaged, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Dan Africa Production. Goodbye.